Humans are incredibly impressive and unique creatures, with no two people being the same in any way. Sure, we share some features, traits, and tendencies, but there are some physical features that are so incredibly rare that only 1% of the Earth's population has them. Whether it's a whole extra rib in your body, the ability to see colors no one else can, or golden blood, there's no denying that there are things out there that can still shock and awe us. Welcome back to our channel, where today we're going to look at 10 rare body features that only 1% of people have. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an upload. Number 10. Golden blood. Now, if you're imagining someone actually bleeding liquid gold, we're sorry to disappoint you. People with golden blood don't really have blood that is gold in color. It just means that their blood has no antigens. It's called Renault blood, and it can be donated to people with very rare blood types who can't accept a majority of the population's blood. And that's what makes it golden. It was first found in an Aboriginal Australian, and fewer than 50 people with the blood type were found 50 years after its discovery. Its rarity means that donations of golden blood are also scarce, and should a Renault individual need a transfusion, doctors have a small pool of people to rely on to step up when it's needed. As of 2018, only 43 people are known to have this blood type. Number 9. Chimerism. Twins often have a special connection that no one can explain, but for people with chimerism, the connection is even deeper, because they're their own twin. In Greek mythology, a chimera was a fire-breathing creature with the traits of a lion, goat, and dragon. It's not quite so exciting with humans, unfortunately. Humans with chimera just have different sets of DNA in their body. It can happen in the case of fraternal twins, when two eggs get fertilized by two separate sperms, and the two zygotes merge to form one human with two cell lines. Taylor Mull has this exact condition where one side of her torso is a different color from the other. It was considered a birthmark for the longest time before she was finally diagnosed with chimera. People with chimera often go undiagnosed because it's a relatively lesser-known condition and because there's no way to tell unless specific biomedical tests are carried out. But there are some clues: patchy skin coloration, different colored eyes, or when one person has two different blood types. In the case of Taylor Mull, she has tetragrammatic chimerism. This also gave her an autoimmune condition because her twin's DNA is seen as foreign by her body, and it reacts to it. She's allergic to certain foods, medication, jewelry, and insect bites. She deals with that by healthily eating and leading an active lifestyle. Only about 100 cases of chimerism exist in our population, but there could be more. We just don't know it yet. Number 8. A hole near the ear. A second hole near your ear is called a preauricular fistula, and it's a benign congenital malformation of the soft tissue around your ear. It's usually asymptomatic, but it can also be complicated by abscesses or infections. It's speculated that the hole is an atavism and exists because we evolved from creatures that once had gills because the hole is connected to a sinus tract that shouldn't be there. This tract runs under the skin, and its path can be either short or very long and complicated. They form when the baby is in the uterus, and it's likely the result of an imperfect fusion of the auricle. It could be a genetic feature or sporadic. Some reports state that 1% of babies are born with a preauricular skin lesion, while in some parts of Africa, it's as high as 10%. Number 7. Seeing invisible colors. The human eye is capable of perceiving only a limited range of colors, usually around 1 million of them. But people gifted with 4 cones in their retinas can see a whole different world. In fact, the number of colors they can see goes up to 99 million. We're missing out on quite a lot. While an ordinary person might say a flower is pink, a tetrachromat would be able to see several other shades within the flower. This happens when you have 4 different channels for conveying color information. In tetrachromats, the sensory color space is 4-dimensional. It is quite common in other species of bird, fish, and reptile, and some mammals, but definitely rare in humans. It used to be a normal condition in most mammals in the past, but a genetic change made the majority of the species in this class inevitably lose their ability. Number 6. No high cholesterol. Ever. And yes, that means you can gorge yourself silly in your favorite fast food restaurant and still be perfectly fine. There's a small group of very lucky people who get to do this, and their risk of developing heart disease is reduced by as much as 90%. The reason for this is that they don't have enough working copies of the PCSK9 gene. This gene provides instructions for making a protein that regulates the amount of cholesterol in the bloodstream. Pharmaceutical companies have even decided to take advantage of this and started working on a drug that blocks PCSK9. However, PCSK9 inhibitors can also cause flu-like symptoms, soreness, joint pain, and muscle pain. You decide what you'd rather have. Number 5. Dense bones. If you've ever broken a leg or arm, fallen down the stairs, or fell from a tree, you know that it's incredibly painful. Well, some people have bones that are almost impossible to break thanks to a certain LRP5 gene mutation. The LRP5 protein plays a vital role in developing and maintaining several tissues and establishing a blood supply to the retina and inner ear. And of course, it regulates the bone mineral density, which is a measure of the amount of calcium and other minerals in bones. The minerals give the bones strength, making them less likely to break. People with higher bone mass are better protected against osteoporosis and related fractures later in life. However, the problem is if you ever need surgeries like a hip replacement, the bones won't be replaced easily. Number 4. 2 lash lines. While you buy your long lash extensions from the beauty salon or drugstore, there are people out there who have a double lash line, long and lush. The condition is called distichiasis, and the second line can either have a single lash, a few hairs, or a complete set. The extra lashes come out of the meibomian glands on the edge of the eyelid, and the gland also produces an oil that coats tears, which stops them from drying up quickly. It doesn't cause any issues, but in some cases, there are symptoms. You might experience sensitivity to light, conjunctivitis, irritation, and droopy eyelids. You can even get it later in life if your eyelid ever gets injured. Double lashes can also cause problems with the mucous membrane of the eye. Too heavy a price to pay for long lashes, I think. The late Elizabeth Taylor had distichiasis too. Number 3. Extra ribs. Your cervical vertebrae are located just below your skull, and the extra rib arises from the 7th vertebra. This is a condition more prevalent in women. The extra set is usually either in the cervical area or the neck. It occurs only in 0.2 to 0.5% of the population. They vary in size and shape as well. In most cases, it's not particularly relevant or anything to worry about. Still, in rare cases, they can cause problems contributing to thoracic outlet syndrome, which causes pains, blockage of arteries, and aneurysms. This happens because of the pressure they put on the nerves. That's the worst case scenario though. In the majority of cases, it doesn't cause pain or present any problems. Number 2. Less need for sleep. Pulling an all-nighter for a college essay and unable to stay awake for class? Well, that's not a problem for people with a DEC2 mutation. They need less sleep than most people and get a full night's rest in half the time that we regular folk do. A person with this mutation can go to bed around 11 p.m. or 12 a.m. and naturally wake up by 5 a.m. without an alarm clock or any training. They're just born that way. Researchers at UC San Francisco engineered mice to have the same mutation and discovered that this particular gene helps control orexin, a hormone that maintains wakefulness. This mutation in DEC2 works by partially releasing and hitting the brakes on the production of orexin. You could think of DEC2 as the timekeeper in your body. It makes sure that orexin is produced when it's needed and hits the brakes when it's not required. But this mutation weakens the DEC2, allowing more orexin production, which causes you to stay awake longer. There are really no side effects to this either, which is a dream for overachievers. In fact, people with this mutation feel awful if they sleep longer than 5 hours. It should be no surprise that this gene was present in Margaret Thatcher, Salvador Dali, Winston Churchill, and Nikola Tesla. Before we take a look at number 1, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you hit the like button. Number 1. Red hair and blue eyes. This might seem impossible, but red hair is in fact a trait prevalent in only 1% of the population. It occurs in 2 to 6% of the North European populations and less frequently in other populations. The hues range from a deep burgundy all the way to strawberry blonde. Red hair originates from mutations in a gene involved in skin and hair pigmentation called melanocortin-1 receptor on chromosome 16. The red hair mutation in this gene results in a person producing more of the red pigment than that is present in our lips and less of the pigment that results in brown skin and hair and a tanned appearance. And since it's a mutation, you don't actually need to have red-headed parents to have red hair yourself. And if you have red hair with blue eyes, you have one of the rarest color combinations in the world. Around 17% of people have blue eyes. When combined with the 1% having red hair, the odds of having both traits come to 0.17%. That's just 13 million people in a population of 7.6 billion. So could they go extinct? The question has been debated. This particular combination is rare because they result from two sets of DNA instructions, or mutations, happening in the same person. The mutation occurred several thousand years ago, and both of them are recessive traits. But we don't have to worry about these traits going extinct. Even if we can't see red hair, many people still carry the genes and can pass it on to their children. And those are the 10 most rare body features that only 1% of the Earth's population has. Which one did you find most unusual? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, check out others like this on our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.